Hi everyone, it's great to see you again. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Bill Benoist and I'm all about embracing retirement with purpose, passion, and new beginnings. Today's video, I want to try to explain the reasoning behind the government's statement that inflation has only gone up 3%. Don't know if I can do that. I definitely cannot explain why our president says that there's no inflation whatsoever. Going to have to leave that one alone. But I will try to explain how the government reaches this 3% when we ourselves will go to the grocery store and sit there and say, we're paying a hell of a lot more than 3%. Or when we're paying our electric bill, we're paying a lot more than that 3%. How do they get to these numbers? Because when you look at our cost of living, it just seems like it's gone up a lot more than 3%. My rent, I live in a mobile home park, but I own the house. However, I still have to pay space rent. That goes up 3.1% last year. Things go up a lot more than 3%. And then let me also throw out something, and I'll talk about this in a few moments. Our cost of living allowance or adjustment is going up 2.8% for our Social Security checks. We're going to get a whooping extra $50, $55. We can probably buy a Venti coffee at Starbucks for $55, and the rate of inflation is going on right now. But I'm ranting. Let me get back to the facts. So what the government is using is something that's called the Consumer Price Index, and it's a weighted average of all of the households out there. Key, working households, not retirement households. And so they also include the things that have gone down in cost. So for example, what they're saying is that if you go out and buy a used car in the year 2025, that car is about a little over 5% less than what it was in 2024. Gasoline, except if you live in California, we pay a lot more. I haven't seen any real reduction in California by any means. But what they do is they take these things that have gone down in cost and they put those in the average as well. And so it comes out for the average working family right around 3% as a weighted average for the households. Now, taking a look at us in retirement, we're probably not going to be buying that used car. We're not going to see that 5-point-something% decrease. We're also not going to be driving that much because we don't have to pay the gasoline, the transportation getting back and forth to work. We will be paying probably more for our electricity bills because we're home now more often. Bottom line is that, yeah, you're not imagining it. The prices are above that 3% for most of us. And the unfortunate thing is for us in retirement, many of us were on a fixed income. So we have a fixed income and we have inflation going up. What do we do? Number one, you got to be aware of your expenditures out there. If you don't know that, you really do need to set up a budget and take a hard look at your expenditures, because that's the first step. And because you will find that you're spending some money out there that you had no idea that you were spending on. I've talked about this as an example. I was looking at some of my streaming channels that I was paying for, and there was one streaming channel I looked at it and I was like paying $10 or $11 every single month, and I haven't watched that channel in 6-7 months. I canceled it out. There's going to be things that you can cut out. Also, take a look at your home energy costs. Are there things that you can change? What about the thermostat? Can you lower that down? That's going to be saving you some money. Do you have some way of dimming the lights, maybe using some LEDs that are going to be a lot more cost effective? You might have to get a part-time job. Unfortunately, that's a reality for a lot of people. You might be able to take a side hustle or a hobby that you can start making some money that could be fun. And you know what? the average retiree, they're only doing between $300 and $500 a month. They're not working a lot of hours. In fact, if anything, it gets you out of the house, it gets you off of the recliner watching, TV, and it gets you moving out there. It's not a bad thing. You just need to be aware of these things. You might need to right size your house. I'm not necessarily saying downsize it, but again, maybe right size it. So I think the bottom line is that you really need to be aware of how much you're spending on a weekly, a monthly, and an annual basis, and take it from there. I'm sorry about this as being a kind of a downer video, and I know it's the holiday season. We're going into the new year. Again, you might be watching this already in the new year, and this is nothing really new, except that if you haven't done so already, make sure that you take a close look at your budget. It's a great goal for 2026. So I hope you found this video informative and useful, not too depressing. If you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification as I do upload new videos every Tuesday, and I'd hate for you to miss one. Thanks again for stopping by, and I will see you next week. Take care.